with your first deposit only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
When Colin Cowherd drops the info, you need to listen.
Any relationship, go to therapy, figure it out. But if you're 9 years in and you have to go to therapy twice a week, it's just too damn hard. Last night, Philadelphia beats Washington. Washington's the worst team in the bubble. Washington's awful. Simmons gets hurt. A couple days ago, I said Embiid was yelling at one of his teammates. This is too hard. It's just too hard. This is the classic example of, I understand this is the third year. Like, it's got to work now. I mean, just think about this. Think about all the things that don't work. Why are they awful on the road? They're a terrible road team. Why? Chemistry's not good. They had to switch Ben Simmons' position as they entered the bubble. Now he's a forward. They're constantly rearranging their pieces. They let go of Redick.
Check.
Every
Okay,
year they got to rearrange the deck chairs. Brett Brown's on the hot seat every year. He's struggling to make him
everyone's like good.
along. No, by the way,
Check.
Simmons and Joel
Mine
Embiid
is,
do
yep,
not
sounds
fit.
good.
I'm sorry, but AD and
yours on?
LeBron, I mean, Joey and I laugh. Like 3 games in, you're like, oh, it's perfect. Chris Paul had a bunch
Should
of
be,
guys he'd never
Tony?
seen before.
Hello, testing 1 2 1
All
2.
right, try it
Can you
again,
hear me
Ryan.
now?
Testing
Ryan
1 2
Paul George
1 2 1
felt
2.
like 15 games
Mic
in
check,
at
mic check.
Like nothing
Yeah.
can be this hard. You know, you look at Shaq and Kobe, but Shaq and Kobe were kids. I mean, Kobe was literally a kid, and then Del Harris had him, and they're young, but they kept getting better. And then Phil Jackson comes in, and they keep getting better, and you get a dynasty. And by the end, they wore each other out. But you kept seeing growth. Embiid and Simmons are 3 years in, multiple teammates in. They keep rearranging the roster. Like, the Philadelphia's talent is incredible.
If you're eager to find out what Colin said next, just podcast it by searching The Herd. And as always, you can listen live to Colin Cowherd weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Did you miss this on Straight Out of Vegas with the voice of Vegas, RJ Bell?
Vegas heard about Zion not playing. The Pelicans, 8-point favorites when Zion was going to play. 8 points favorite without Zion. They don't care. What does this say about Zion?
It says that Zion is not in game shape. Here's a guy, Zion, that was averaging around 25 points per game. I had him worth 3 points before the pandemic.
Then 10 minutes later, you had him at 2 points. But
Well, now he's worth 0. The market is telling you it doesn't help New Orleans to have Zion out there because when he gets scratched, the market doesn't move even half a point.
It seems like that you can point your finger at him and say, why aren't you in better shape right now? Why are you, in the eyes of Vegas, worthless? You literally are replacement level.
It's Straight Out of Vegas. Weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Fox Sports Trending now.
Wednesday, the Big Ten announced a new football schedule, and now 5 days later, the Detroit Free Press is reporting, alongside Dan Patrick, that the conference has voted to cancel the football season, along with all fall sports. The vote was reportedly 12-2 in favor of the cancellation. We will see how this shakes out as the day progresses and how it affects other conferences across the country. Meanwhile, the NBA's Orlando bubble is getting a little bit smaller. That after Portland dropped Philadelphia 124-121, that Blazers win, coupled by losses with Sacramento and New Orleans, eliminates the Kings and the Pelicans from the NBA's postseason. And Yahoo's Chris Haynes says that all teams eliminated before or by the 12th will be sent home immediately. I'm Ralph Irvin.
We are Fox Sports.
SiriusXM's got a new podcast series getting you ready for the upcoming NFL Draft.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The Tony Bruno Show.
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
Tony Bruno Show with Harry Maid.
Parental discretion is advised.
the godfather of sports radio. It is a final. Here is Tony Bruno. Tony Bruno. Beautiful.
Hello there, kids. We would like to thank college football for participating in this fall's sports. You know what happened, Harry Mays?
What happened?
Once the MAC said we ain't playing, the dominoes started falling.
Yeah, I guess everybody's trying to be like the Ivy League, Tony, because they can't do it in the classroom, so they might as well do it on the football field.
Exactly. We are live. It is a Monday, hot, nasty, the dog days of summer indeed. And slaving over a hot studio last night till well past midnight. Pat Kineen, Joe C. You should have seen this place, Harry. It looked worse than my golf game around 9 o'clock last night. Wires everywhere, things ripped out, and all put back together by Pat Kineen. We're eating pizzas. I'm down here vacuuming, sweeping up. And then finally, we got it back on the air, Harry. Looks nice and clean over there. So you got it covered up over there, no wires. People don't like to look at ugly stuff.
No, they don't like to look at wires. That's why nowadays we put our TVs in the wall and we put all the wiring in the wall because nobody wants to see that stuff.
You're absolutely
Either
right.
that or you put a Tony Bruno live banner in front of it.
Well, that's what we have right now. It's a temporary fix.
It's a temporary, but the banner is just temporary but everything's nicely organized back behind there, too.
It's all cleaned up. Everything's labeled. So I said, let's just put that over it for now, and it looks good. It's all clean.
Right.
Rothstein looks clean today. No jorts on.
Joe C., Pat Kineen, you and I, we were burning the candle at both ends yesterday.
It's a good thing I went out and burned myself out on Saturday with Harry Mays. I won all Colin Morikawa, though, at the end of the round, Harry.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't drive the green, though, and make an unbelievable putt.
No, but you hit a wedge in there tight and made the putt to finish off the day, and your sand game was strong.
It really was. I was surprised because you figure if you haven't played in a long time, you're not going to hit anything.
Right.
But I was playing with a new putter that I hadn't picked up, the Callaway.
It's an Odyssey, by Callaway, yeah.
The
Odyssey,
the double, what do they call double ball?
It was a two-baller.
A two-baller.
Yeah.
Well, luckily I'm okay.
Right. Yeah.
John Kruk
it wasn't
play.
Trucker.
Yeah, he couldn't play a two-baller.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you got new shoes, too.
Yes, I got a pair of new shoes. I bought them. I want to thank
Slick New Footjoys, right?
Yes, the great Chris Hansen and the great folks at the 1912 Club, Harry. It was a lot of fun, and I want to thank Harry for inviting me out there. I was terrible. I couldn't hit anything. Although I started hitting the 4 and 5 woods, Harry, later
the hybrids,
in the round.
Yeah.
I was smoking those babies.
Exactly.
And so it's not like riding a bike. Golf and riding a bike, you can't give it up for let alone 4 or 5 years. You can't give it up even for a year, Harry.
That's why I'll never give it up until I'm dead.
Damn right, Harry.
Now, the most important thing, Tony, did you have fun?
Absolutely. Did I throw any clubs, Harry? Did I yell and curse and scream? I was well composed out there.
No, you were. You comported yourself, as they say.
So he didn't embarrass you?
No, he did not. He did not.
I don't embarrass anyone, Robin. I'm a professional.
I don't know about that.
When I go out there, I understand it. You think that's the first time I played at a nice country club? I played at some of the greatest places on earth.
Well, plus he was decked out in his new Boston Scott golf apparel, looking sharp.
The new shoes.
Right. You got the new shoes. You had the belt on, the Boston Scott belt, and the shirt. New shirt.
I looked like I was ready to play.
Exactly.
Well, a complete outrage, though. Not one single photograph was taken.
Harry was not allowing it.
We don't take photos.
That's
Photos
right. No
aren't
video.
allowed at Bushwood.
Except on that, when you were up there on the 18th green and I was hitting that wedge, Harry, you should have had the camera rolling.
Well,
so that baby just landed like 33 inches away from the cup, and then the pressure to make that putt, Harry, even though it's 33 inches.
Right.
You still have to make the putt.
Right, because you didn't want me to give it to you.
No, I said I want to make it because I want to. That was the first time I put 2 shots back to back on the 18th fairway right up into the green, Harry. So that makes you want to come back for more.
Now the
know what I'm saying?
the other shot we may have wanted a photo of was the one that ended up next to the toilet in the mid-golf course latrine where there's this little stall,
It's a house. It looks like
a little
house.
cinder block house with a toilet and a sink in it. And the door was open, which it's never open, by the way. And you hit a tee shot that went into the bathroom.
I hooked it right. And it was about 100 yards away. And I hooked it right. I said, Harry, that went inside that building, whatever
it
that
took
is.
one bounce and went right in the
It went
bathroom.
inside the door. I could have stood up there all day and never hit a ball inside that
right,
room.
he could have taken 100 balls and tried to do it, and he wouldn't have done it once. I swear to God, this was crazy.
And I said, Harry, it went in there. I'm telling you, because I'm pretty good at finding my own ball. So we walked over there. Harry went in there. It was right next to the toilet.
Sitting right next to the
where
toilet.
It lied?
No, we had to move that.
I didn't even want to use my foot wedge in there. It's in the toilet. You don't know who's been in those halfway houses.
I gave him 2 club lengths from the toilet. That's what I did.
Nice of you. That's nice of you.
Gives a whole new meaning to the word drop.
Exactly
yes,
right.
Exactly.
I did get a drop out of there.
Yes,
it was
free
pretty
drop.
clean, though. But there was no standing water. Anyway, we had a lot of fun. But Colin Morikawa, Harry, where were you when he made that unbelievable drive to hit it on the green on a par 4?
Well, yeah, and even the whole 2 holes before that where he chipped in for birdie with a wedge from just off the green. That was the first one. That's a tough shot to hit. That's a tough shot to get within 2 or 3 feet for some people. He puts it in the hole, and then, like you said, on the drivable par 4, he gets out driver, where the guy I had, Jason Day, just a hole or 2 earlier, was afraid to pull driver, pulls 3 wood, and puts it in the bunker, makes par.
Is he the guy that cursed when he missed the putt? Who was that?
No, that was Justin Thomas.
Justin Thomas, yes.
Yeah. Oh,
we have the tape.
He's dropped plenty of F-bomb on the golf course, that JT.
And that's one of those when there's no crowd, and he's putting, and he misses the putt. We can't even play it because it's got a bad word in it.
Right.
It's been edited out. What was his line? Are you bleeping kidding me? Are you bleeping kidding me? Anyway.
And the way Scott Van Pelt handled that was awesome.
Yeah.
Because that was the portion that was on ESPN prior to CBS. And he just basically played it off like, hey, I apologize for the language, but anybody who's played the game knows that, that happens. It's just enough.
And the fact that Morikawa is 23 from Cal.
Yeah.
He went to Cal, not Stanford, Harry. Cal, Berkeley.
Yeah.
And he 23, a little over a year ago, he was still in school.
Right.
That's how incredible this kid is.
I think he's played in 29 events, and he's made the cut 27 times. And one of those wasn't even as a professional where he missed the cut. And now he's got 3 wins, including a major, and he's only 23 years old.
Now, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. College football is a big story. We'll get to that. But we would like to thank, in the NBA bubble, Harry, as you would say, Zion. Who else got knocked out yesterday?
Sacramento.
Sacramento Kings.
Get out! Get out!
And Zion, you know what? They weren't good enough. They weren't good enough,
No,
Harry.
they weren't.
And they did not play well in the bubble, and now they'll have to come back next year. And the good thing is they can get
out!
Yeah, because now you heard they don't have to sit around and wait.
Right.
They can now leave the bubble by Wednesday. Get the hell out and stay out.
I am pissed off.
Exactly. So there you have it. So there's a couple of teams still alive. The West is going to come down to the final 3 games. 3 games left for most teams. The Phoenix Suns have been the hottest team in the NBA in the bubble, Harry. 5-0, and they're playing right now against Oklahoma City. And if they win, they're going to keep themselves alive for that 9th seed. Remember, they started off in the 13th seed, Harry.
Right.
They had 4 teams ahead of them. And because they keep winning, and teams like Memphis and Sacramento, San Antonio still hanging in there. So that's going to be an interesting final 3 games for those 2 teams, for those 3 or 4 teams still in the hunt, Portland. But you look at the bottom line, there will still be, no matter what happens, we don't know who they're going to be, there will be a play-in game on Saturday.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that this was part of the rules until just today.
Yeah, so no matter what happens, if the 8th seed, there's going to be an 8 and 9 seed matchup on Saturday because the 8th seed, whoever it is, will not be 4 games ahead of the 9th seed.
That
right?
was the stipulation that I was unaware of. Apparently, according to the restart rules, the 8th seed must be up more than 4 games on the 9th seed at the end of the seeding round in order to claim the spot outright.
Why?
I don't know.
Then why did they have any seeding games?
Kind of stupid. I mean, Memphis doesn't look like they want to play in the playoffs. I mean, they're not playing well. Portland's played much better.
Absolutely.
And should catch them. San Antonio's even like a game back.
Exactly.
And then Phoenix.
You look at the NHL, and we've talked about how they've gotten pretty much everything right, how it's a round robin. The NBA, their one creative idea was if you're 4 games or less back from the 8th spot,
you get to play.
You have a shot to get in the playoffs.
And the Phoenix Suns have taken advantage of that.
Right.
They, you know how hard it is to move up against 4 teams? And they've done it. Now they're still alive, and they're playing today, and they're down 15. So they lose today, they're probably shot. But you got to give them credit. They showed up to play. Devin Booker and those guys, they showed up to play.
No doubt about it.
And that's what you want to see from teams. They really had virtually no shot in this thing when you look at the teams that were still in the hunt in the Western Conference of the NBA, Harry. So there's going to be a play-in game Saturday at 2:30 in the afternoon on ABC. The 8th seed will play the 9th seed.
Okay.
If the 8th seed wins on Saturday, they will automatically then be in the playoffs. If the 9th seed wins, then they have to play a second game on Sunday at 4:30 in the afternoon.
So, in other words, if you're the 9th seed, if it's Portland, you got to win 2 straight against Memphis in order to get in.
If it's Memphis. You have to beat unless Memphis chokes it away.
Right.
You have to beat the 8th seed twice. It's like you almost had a good idea with a play-in game. Why are you complicating things with that nonsense?
It's just so hokey.
Who does that? Who has time?
And maybe Devin Booker doesn't need to get out of Phoenix after all, Harry, as was said over the
Draymond
week.
Green?
Yes, Draymond Green on TNT. Whatever they're paying him, he probably just gave it right back to the NBA because he went on the NBA on TNT on Saturday and pretty much said, that Devin Booker should leave Phoenix, man. It's not a good spot for his career.
Right. In
and
other words,
that violates the tampering rule, and so he's going to get fined $50,000.
In other words, saying the Bay Area would be a great spot for Devin Booker. That's essentially what he said.
Exactly. So we got a lot of hockey to talk about. The great Jason Myrtetus is going to join us, Harry.
Oh, my God.
We're going to talk hockey action.
Well, what a night Friday night was with all those elimination games in hockey. And now, of course, we know all the matchups going forward for what is now the first round of the playoffs.
And you know what today is also? The NHL draft is tonight. And I got to get into that with Myrtetus, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want to talk about a botched system. What the NHL has done to the worst teams in the league has given them no shot at getting the number 1 overall pick. It is ridiculous what they've done, Harry. We'll talk about it with Jason Myrtetus. We got hockey playoff action starting on Wednesday already, Harry. The NHL's ready to go.
Yeah, they are. They don't mess around.
No, they're going to play starting Wednesday in the Eastern Conference. And Marcus Stroman has opted out now with the Mets. So do we thank the New York Mets for participating in the National League East, Harry?
You know, I don't know what to make of baseball or specifically the NL East right now. I mean, between that Phillies-Braves action over the weekend, it's just...
And how about the Cardinals? Now the next 3 games against the Pirates have been postponed.
I know.
So they have played 5 games already, and they've missed 13 games.
They've played the least amount of anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who knows when they're going to play a game. Because now they have the 10th player, Lane Thomas, tested positive. So whatever they're doing in St. Louis, they're doing it all wrong.
Well, then we also had a player in Cleveland violate the protocols.
Zach Plesac. Is that Dan Plesac's son?
I think he's some relation.
Zach Plesac pitched well over the weekend, and then on Saturday night after he pitched, he decided, I'm going to hit the town in Chicago.
Right, yeah. Go out with a couple of friends.
Going to go out and hang out. And then they said, dude. And he's a guy who was preaching that you can't go out and do this stuff when a player earlier in the lockdown was out goofing off. And then he gets caught, and they sent him home, and he got a rental car and drove back to Cleveland.
Yeah, it was a car service.
Ridiculous, man.
He's their 5th starter.
I know. Well, he pitched. He won't miss that many games. They're going to quarantine him for 72 hours. Jason Myrtetus, we got to get into this college football debacle, Harry. No college football, Harry. What the hell is going on out there? This show's going on. We're just getting started. It's a Monday. It's SiriusXM 211, twitch.tv, Tony Bruno Show. Stick around. It's his nephew, yes.
All right, people. On this fabulous Monday, and if you are just tuning in for the first time and you don't know how this works, if you are listening on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, you cannot be a part of the full 3 hours unless you are on Twitch. So make the switch to Twitch, where you can join the chat room and see all the behind the scenes and experience everything. Twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show. Because unfortunately, if you are any of the other platforms, we have to say goodbye to you for now.